Well, it's OnePlus time, and this is the OnePlus 11. Ta-da! Aren't you glad I'm not talking about the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra? So, the phone itself, I like it a lot. It's been really hard for me to not say anything. I was able to post a picture to say, hey, I've got the phone a couple of weeks ago, but of course, embargoes, all those things. So, it's finally basically available today. You can pre-order it. It's going to be here on the 16th, so they're actually coming in a day earlier than the S23 series phones. Very interesting decision. This phone, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that has me the most excited is $699. And I got to reflect for a moment because I hadn't had the pricing information available because I was dumb and didn't click on the link they sent me that had the pre-order and pricing information. So I already fully tested the phone. I've been carrying it around for like 2 weeks. I'm like, man, what's the price on this thing? So I can actually talk about it. So I know how to frame this properly because I'm excited. I think it's good. I thought it was going to be $899, $699 for the 8GB 128 version, $799 for the 256 16GB version. That's a big bump up. And it's got all the latest and greatest in it, Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. And for those of you who are watching my videos about the S23 and how I said all the nice things about the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 and how it made me excited for the S23 Ultra, it was because of this phone, because I was using the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. It's so nice. It runs so cool. It's great for battery usage, power, performance, all that great stuff. So much better than Snapdragon 8 Generation 1. So kudos, thumbs up to Snapdragon with Qualcomm. Thank you. I really like this chipset. Even this phone is exceptional for gaming. And just for instance, I had it at 100%. I played an entire round of Apex online. Everything maxed out. 120 hertz, Quad HD Plus, all those great things. It used about 4% battery. And it wasn't a short round. I got first place. I went all the way to the end and I won. Used 4 or 5% battery, and the phone didn't get warm at all. So that's pretty good. I was really inspired by that. So lots of great things here. Let's run through some of the specs. It's got Bluetooth 5.3. It's got the low energy mode as well. It's also got lossless hi-fi audio, all those great things. And one thing missing here though, no wireless charging, no IP68 dust and water resistance. So you're going to have to rely on the fast charging. I'm actually okay with that. I'm not a big fan of wireless charging. It's always much slower. If you get 80-watt wired charging, if you can get it halfway charged in like 14, 15 minutes, who cares? I don't care that much. But putting it out there, yes, it is missing that. But at $699, shaved a couple $100 off. I'm not too heartburn about it. And also the IP68. Yeah, I wish it was there. This is kind of something that we've expected from the OnePlus phones as of late. So don't take it to the pool. But again, it is very expensive, premium level electronic. I don't take my phones anywhere near the water. I would recommend that you not either. But if you do, just be aware of it. You need to have some sort of a case covering or apparatus. In the event that you take it in the water, I would not recommend taking it in the water. But if you're anywhere, you might drop it in there. Yeah, make sure you take care of it. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery that will last you all day. And it has a charger in the box right here. 80 watts here in the United States. It'll get you fully charged from 1% to 100 in less than half an hour. That's crazy. So even if you find some way to drain the battery before the day ends, you can top it back up, recharge it halfway charged in like 14 minutes or something like that. It's crazy how fast this thing charges. So there's two options. They have the Titan Black and they have the Emerald Green. Man, that Emerald Green is beautiful. I haven't had my hands on one, so I can't tell you how the fingerprints are. It's got more of that glossy finish. This one doesn't. But as nice as this looks, and it has that nice soft touch feel, this phone is slick. Like, it is really, really slippery. Get a case on it ASAP. I didn't even want to take this out of the house because I was so worried I was going to drop it. I took it to the zoo to take some photos, and it like slipped out of my hand like a bar of soap. Thank goodness I caught it because I hadn't finished my review yet, and it was going to be bad to sit here with the smashed up phone. But it does have Gorilla Glass 5 on the back and Victus on the front, so you're pretty well covered. But yeah, that would have been bad. Now that I talked about almost dropping at the zoo while I was taking photos, let's take a look at some of these photo samples and I'll talk about the camera information. So went out, took some photo samples, and pretty impressed. So I don't think it's as good as the S22, S23 Ultra, or the Pixel 7, but I do think they've taken some steps in the right direction. The color science is nice. With the primary camera, I think that it's worked out pretty well. Not the most amazing in every situation with skin tones based on lighting. I took a picture of my wife and it came out kind of pasty looking a few times that I tried it, and the selfie camera doesn't like light. Like, it kind of cascades itself onto the screen whenever you're trying to do it. It kind of gives it this little, almost a fogged out appearance if you've got direct sunlight. But if you don't have direct sunlight hitting the screen, then it does work out pretty well. But overall, I think the cameras are pretty decent. 50 megapixel primary, 48 megapixel ultra wide, also does the macro, and it will automatically do the macro. It shifts over to that, which is cool. And then you get the 32 megapixel telephoto, 2x optical zoom. You can reach out and touch stuff. It's not the space super zoom, all that crazy stuff you get with the Samsung phones, but it's very capable up to about 10 times. And I've got a couple illustrations that we saw in the photos where I zoomed in different zoom links. But overall, pretty impressed with it. And I think a lot of it comes down to the app. Again, it comes down to the camera app and the programming. If you put Gcam on this thing, if that's even possible, that pretty much would make the OnePlus cameras in the past look like Google cameras. Like, they just look really good. So I think a lot of it comes down to the programming still. Probably it'll get better with time. But as of right now, I think it takes pretty capable photos. Also does 8K at 24 frames per second for video, 4K 60 on the back. And you'll be happy to know there's no limit on the 8K either. I did like almost a 20-minute video recording, and it didn't overheat, and it didn't shut off from timing. So I was happy to see that, some improvements there. And it has a 16 megapixel selfie camera, which takes okay photos. Talked about that a second ago. Portrait mode, all that jazz, better low light, but still limited to 1080p video. And I don't understand that. It has to do with the fact that these phones are basically kind of the same as a lot of the Oppo phones. They're part of the Oppo brand now. They used to be separate. I don't know. Every time I get an Oppo phone, you get the OnePlus phone, you get the 1080p at 30 frames per second video. So much emphasis on the primary camera. So many nice things. Spending the money for the Hasselblad cooperation, the color science, all those things. Nice, vibrant colors. And then, bam, 1080p 30 frames per second video on the front. I don't get it, but it is what it is. But it stings a lot less at $699. And this phone, I think, is top notch for $699. And I know some people don't like this big circular appearance. I actually like it better than the stovetop Kenmore oven that we got with the last couple of phones. So overall, I think that there has been some improvement here. It's still kind of like 4th or 5th down on the list in US phones, but still, it's hard to get a bad camera in 2023. This one is not a bad camera. It's actually quite good. And there are some times that it does shine, and it does better than some of the other cameras. So it just kind of depends on setting, color, zoom, lighting, HDR, lots of different things. But overall, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think it'll probably get better throughout the rest of the year. So on the front, we have this one, we got an optical fingerprint sensor, which works great. Facial recognition, you can use that too. 6.7-inch AMOLED display, LTPO3. So this will throttle all the way down to 1 hertz. And it'll go all the way up to 120 hertz for the refresh rate. So you get the nice smooth scrolling, all those great things. Really makes for a nice experience watching video, playing games. And up to 1300 nits maximum peak brightness. Not 1750 like the Samsungs, not up to 2000 peak brightness. I think it is like the iPhones, but it gets up there. Like, it gets pretty high. And I think that's good. Anything over 1000, 1100 nits is pretty good for peak brightness. So when you go outside, you can actually see the screen pretty well, which is nice. And I think it actually is a little bit better than the Pixel. So even though I think the numbers, I can't remember what the numbers are on the Pixel, but this one, I did like the way that it looked. It worked really well outside, no complaints. Has the screen protector installed already. Get a case. There's not a whole lot of cases available. Definitely the OnePlus cases are probably the best. Check one of those out for sure. I got this crappy clear one from Amazon that I paid like $12 for. It was an absolute necessity. And this is not even the greatest one, but it does keep you from dropping the phone, and it makes your phone more secure. So those are all great things that you have. They don't give you a case with the phone, but they do give you the charger, charging cable, all that great stuff. You get the SIM ejector tool, you get the paperwork nobody reads. So everything you could possibly want inside the phone. And also, in the United States, you get the 128, 256 options. I like that you get 8 or 16 gigs of RAM. That's even better than Samsung. Samsung, even with your S23 Ultra, only goes up to 12. So, bam. You can get that, and that's the model that I have. So it works out really well. The speakers, you got stereo speakers, are also nice. Actually have really good volume. The haptics on here are good for typing. Overall, it's been a really enjoyable experience. The mute switch is here. So for those of you who thought it was gone because the 10T ditched it, that was kind of like, okay, they changed things a little bit. The 10T was a little bit different. However, it's back. So if you like the slider, the mute slider on here, it's back as well. I'm sure JRig everything's going to try and snap this in half again, or whatever. I really am not too worried about that. I think it's a durable phone. I think it's really slick phone, so put a case on it. Don't come crying to me later when you drop it and scratched it up. But overall, I think that they've done a great job. It's aluminum body, solid build construction, looks premium, feels premium, got the nice etching, the OnePlus logo here on the back. And I know some people are going to hate the camera design. Some people are going to love it. I like it a lot. I think it works well, and it gives it kind of its own standout appearance, look, and all those good things. Also, the volume rockers on the left-hand side, which is different than some phones. Same as the iPhone, different than Samsung, different than Pixel. They both put them on the right side. I kind of like it. And they're nice and responsive, easy to take a snapshot, do a screenshot on your phone, turn the phone off, all those great things. $699, I think it's great. I think it's really competitive. I think it seriously undercuts the competition from Samsung. It even kind of undercuts the competition with the Google Pixel, because the Pixel, $899 MSRP for the Pro. This definitely competes much more with the Pro than with the Pixel 7, but the Pixel 7 is $599. So if you get this for $699, very premium feeling phone, much more, it's more maxed out, all those great things. Quad HD Plus on the front, 120 hertz refresh rate. It does feel like a Pro Series phone. And it's kind of odd. There's no Pro phone this year. We just have the 11. I think that's smarter because I think it makes less. They've been weird with the models here in the United States the last couple of years. So just to get the 11 and have it feel like a Pro phone, even though it doesn't have the Pro moniker on there, I think there's a lot of great things going for it. I think it's going to make people happy. You've got the OxygenOS, which, yes, it is a little bit different than it used to be, but I think they reined it in and it's finally tuned and nice. I really like the operating system on here. And OnePlus has finally gotten online with offering longer support, 4 years of operating system updates, 5 years security patches. So they're pretty much online with Samsung. So grabbing one of these for $699 or $799 for the upgraded model, that's pretty good. That's pretty serious. And, well, quite frankly, I think it's good. So all in all, been very happy with it. This phone got me really excited about a lot of things. And it's a great way to start off 2023. A nice contrast from the S23 series phones. I think definitely this is a much better phone than the S23 Plus is going to be. Save you several $100s and offers a lot that phone does not. The S23 Plus, no macro mode, and it doesn't have the Quad HD Plus resolution. It doesn't have an LTPO screen. It only throttles down to 48 hertz instead of all the way down to 1. Doesn't have a 5,000 milliamp battery. So there's a lot of things that this phone offers that the S23 Plus doesn't, and this one also comes in cheaper than the S23. You can get the maxed out model of this for the same price as the entry model, S23. So a lot of things to think about here, whether you like the Pixel, whether you like the Samsung phones, whether you like Apple. OnePlus is making a very competitive entry this year into the foray of flagship level smartphones in the US, and I am here for it. I think that it's a great phone, and I like it a lot. And it's great for the price. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, then please go into the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, if you like this stuff, then please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.